So you can't see me because it's nearly dark. A little bit of light coming through the trees, but it's pretty dense here. This is my last night in the jungle alone. Can't remember whether it's 4 or 5, I'm not sure. Fourth one or fifth one. Because obviously we skipped one for, if it was 3 dietas, it should have been 3 nights, but on the second dieta, and I did, I can't remember, whatever it is. Anyway, it's 4 or 5. So this dieta, it's this tree behind me, which is Canela moena, which is good for protection and medicine. It's quite big, you probably can't see it. I'll get it in the morning, so I can just stay here as long as I like. Maestro's got to go off really early tomorrow with Darlin to the retreat area and clear a football pitch area because it's a festival anniversary of the nearby pueblo or whatever. So they're doing some work there in the morning, so I'll just be able to walk down. It's not too far, it's only about 150 meters to the kitchen area with where Rosie is. Rosie and Maestro are tonight. Darlin's gone into town, took the first bit of stuff away that wasn't needed for the camp. So it's Friday night, whatever the date is, 25th or something, I think it is. So what's happened? What has happened? Yeah, things get shuffled around a bit. We'll still be brewing ayahuasca, so that's good. That'll be Sunday, so I think I've said this already. Yeah, I have. Sunday, Darlin's going to be coming back on. He's going to be coming back tomorrow because he got work. So that'll be Saturday morning, and then he'll probably have to go away in the afternoon again because they're getting the chacruna from Herrera on Saturday, at least 2 kilos. Depends whether Maestro's got work or not, but he still doesn't know yet. Gino needs to get back to him. They're not sure whether it's going to be him or another shaman. But it's not going to affect my situation, I don't think, but you never know again. I'll just be really happy. This has been a bit tough the last few days, and today dragged like fuck. It pissed it down all day, so couldn't charge the phones. So it was so boring. I went up to the hill for messages, turned my phone on, and it was fucking 2:15, and I thought it was about 4 o'clock. I was like, oh fuck, I've still got hours before I even go to the jungle to get to sleep. So the day really drags. I was up at 7 for breakfast. So this dieta, which is the tree behind me, there's 4 of them. So Canela moena behind me. The other ones, the word remo means paddle, which is what they make paddles out of, which you saw in the other video, Maestro making his paddle, which is oh god, I can't fucking remember them now again. Fuck, what a dick. I've got to meditate on them as well. I've got them written down on WhatsApp. Let's see if it'll jog my memory talking about the others. Almendra is another really strong tree. So there's 4 in this dieta, which I started yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. So I had a drink this morning, drink this afternoon. First drink yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon. So I'll have 2 more tomorrow. I have tomorrow morning, first thing when I get back to the camp. Then 1 more in the afternoon, and then stop on Sunday because it's the ayahuasca ceremony to close me. And as he said before, you don't do a dieta drink on the day that you're being closed of a dieta for an ayahuasca ceremony that night. And then we're done. Heading back to Iquitos on Monday morning. I'll be on the 2 o'clock boat again on Monday afternoon, back to Nauta, and then the coach back to Iquitos, back to the hotel. Got all these videos to do. I've got over 30 videos on just this phone, I think. I've got a couple on the other one. He did 2 videos yesterday of him talking about what his sort of plans are and how bit about the dietas that he offers and stuff like that. I'm going to do a first bit to explain in English kind of what it's about and what you'll have to be able to cope with. Although we've just walked through the area that he's cleared, and he's going to clear a lot more. He's going to have, when he has 2 tambos, because obviously the area's got to be really clean. You want to keep snakes away and stuff, and he's going to build a pathway eventually so that there's planks all the way down to the kitchen area. But this is just the other side of the hill, so you don't hear the boats so much. There's one in the background now. Probably can't hear it over the crickets. To do the dietas really properly. I mean, obviously mine hasn't. I'm not fussed because I felt really good this morning. My skin, I think I'm so hopeful that my skin is good. The last cleaning, that last ceremony, I really had the impression that it was the sort of really cleaning the final shit out of me. I had one little pimple today. I had a couple of itches in the night when I woke up at something like 4 in the morning. Maestro was snoring a little bit, but I managed to get back to sleep. So I really hope, but the test will be Iquitos when I get back to Iquitos and have a shower in the normal water that's chlorinated, and then start food. I mean, in principle, I can eat what I like on Monday, but I'm not going to, out of respect for the plants, and I just don't want to risk, while there's still cleaning going on for the first couple of days, stick to a decent diet and not cave into Chinese or anything spicy, which is a real bummer because I'm really missing food now. 3 weeks. Being back on the bland food, and of course I couldn't have lemon either. Again, on the trees, because it really does make your stomach acid. On the day off that I had between the dietas, I had a whole lemon squeezed onto my soup and whatnot, and fuck, it gave me an acid stomach. I had to drink coconut water. So the test will be Iquitos. First couple of days back in the pollution and stepping into the shower the first day. We'll want to get back to the hotel and just see if it sparks any red areas. There's a bit of itching last night, a bit around my groin and a bit around my sort of collarbone area, and that's to be it takes time, and these things fade out, especially something that was obviously as horrendous an affliction. It's been 6 weeks really to get to really mop this up with so much katawa. I did the dieta with it, then I did the baths with it plus other barks. Then I also did the actual fucking resin that's toxic, that really fucks your guts up. That's not really, but it's unpleasant. That could be the first day on 6 drops. That was 6 hours of stomach discomfort, and then the last day I was on it, I had diarrhea twice. I think I spoke about that in the video. But anyway, I'm just killing, because I'm a bit earlier tonight because we're the other side of the hill, and I wanted to see the camp and know what the area that he's cleared looks like around at night. Just want to shine my torch. But he's cleared a hell of a space. He works his balls off, Maestro. He really does. All this done by hand. You'll see it tomorrow on a video. And I'll film the path on the way back of what he's cleared, all by hand with a machete. He's such an incredible worker. They're so fit and strong because of the shamanism. They're incredible people. I think I did the video. Did I do a video today? Did I? What was it I wanted to talk about? Oh yeah, no, I haven't. We were chatting last night and I asked quite a few questions, probably won't remember them now. But the main one that was kind of puzzling me, I mentioned it on the other video, wondering how calling the animals works compared to the plants, because it makes sense with the plants because you do dietas with the plants, but you don't do dieta with the meat of an animal, like the Black Panther or whatever animal, eagle and whatnot. And so I asked him, I said, how come you can call the animals, but to call the plants you need to do the dietas? He said, because the plants are effectively they're the gateway to the spirit world. So by doing the dietas with the plants, it gives you access to all of aspects of nature, which include obviously is the animals, but it also includes the odd other things like rocks, or manta rays in the sea, because that's in one of the icaros, raya manta. It's a manta ray, so that explains how that works. And also about the boa negra. The reason it's called boa negra, it's the anaconda, and of course the anaconda's sort of grey with yellow spots. So it's not black at all. I think there's a bit of a black spot in the middle of the yellow. But why it's black is in the spirit world, its spirit is completely black, and it's usually huge, like hundreds of meters long, massive. That's why it's the king of the rivers. It's a massive spirit. And he also explained that that the trees are quite amiable, and like Mama Ayahuasca and the plants, not as much. And it's because it's all a hierarchy. The trees are a lot more strict than the plants, depending on the tree. I mean, Bobinsana is an exception because she's full of love and compassion and stuff. So she's just wonderful. She's like Mama Ayahuasca, and you can have a joke with them. But the trees, they're really, they can easily be disrespected. And then the animals are even worse. You've got to be really careful talking to the animals. I mean, you told me a story about some guy who wasn't Spanish, and he got the sex wrong. Because this is another thing. The trees, I asked him about which trees are masculine and feminine. He said they're all masculine or feminine. They're a mix of the same species. And I said, oh, is that why they can have families? And he said, yeah, that's why they can have children, which is hopefully tonight they'll have the kids in this tree will be sitting above me, watching over me with their bows and arrows or whatever they've got. And Maestro can look and see as well. They're up there. That's what he said to me on the last dieta. I think it was Huaca Purana, where they were sitting above me in the video that I did on that. So when it comes to respect, especially the big, powerful spirits, they're not quite as, they haven't got, sense of humor so much. And this guy got into trouble because he called one of them Senor instead of Senor or something, and the spirit was a bit kind of annoyed about it. I think that was a tree. Oh no, it was an animal. I think it was the anaconda. It was the boa negra. So this is all wacky stuff as usual, but basically I felt really good today. But I had the feeling that what this whole thing has actually been about, because after this, and I know I'm bound to feel like this, it's not easy doing dietas for 3 weeks. The third week really got to me. I'm going to put this light on so you can see me. The third week, kind of gets you. You've had enough of it, and it isn't really that difficult. If it wasn't for those little flies in your ear, it would be fine, really. And it will be fine for the clients. When they have proper tambos, they won't have that problem. They'll be able to have insecticide spray, which I've got. But the little ones are a pain in the ass to catch. You can't really, they don't respond to mosquito spirals at all. It doesn't bother them. Whereas some mosquitoes aren't really a problem, except when you come, if you're working in the jungle or you're walking like around in the jungle collecting the bark. That's the only time the mosquitoes there's clouds of them and they get you. But it's really not that bad. It's the food is tasteless. It's the same food every day, which is noodles, rice, potatoes, a boiled egg, carrots, cucumber, and that's it if you're on trees. If you're on a more lenient diet like Bobinsana, you can even eat meat on that. And that's what gets to you as well. The same food, either cold or maybe hot. Depends how long it's been hanging around before the Rosie serves it to you. Of course, Westerners like hot food most of the time. Sometimes it's too fucking hot. She handed me a plate the other day. It was like, fuck. She said, oh, it's hot. And I fucking went and grabbed it. It was like, fuck. I nearly burnt my fucking hands. Managed to get it to the table, burning my fingers. Red hot soup straight out the pot. It's like, shit, Rosie. Fucking hell. So I always made sure after that I asked her if it's hot or not. And, oh yeah, I'll put it down, leave it for 10 minutes outside the net. So, but the dietas for the clients, I don't know how much I'm going to be involved in it. I'll do the video for Maestro. I'll get them to contact me through my WhatsApp or my email, and hopefully I'll get the commission. I'll have to arrange that with him for sure, because 10% is not enough, because I'll be doing video interviews. But really, maybe not, because what I really thought now, I don't want to mess up my visa situation by overstaying, in case I do want to come back and continue in future, depending on money. There's so many variables involved. But what I was thinking about this afternoon, I was thinking, I think I know what this has all been about now. Yes, it's the path to shamanism, but not maybe further in the future. Not to continue now, because I really need a break and I just want to get the fuck out of here. I've had enough. I'm really looking forward to getting back to Iquitos. It's not often I say that, because after 2 days there I'll hate it as well. So I'm thinking about Colombia. Just take the ferry up because it's cheaper. But it'll depend on looking for work. The first few days will be in Iquitos. I'll try to change my hotel. I'm not happy with the hotel room where I am. It's a bit dull, dismal, a bit depressing. Maestro said he only pays 40 soles a night in his, so I'll find out what his is and go and have a look there the next day after I get in, because I won't get there until Monday till 7-8 o'clock in the evening. But really, I think Mama's brought me here for the two main reasons, and one of which I didn't really know, which is obviously to sort my blood out once and for all, and it was been horrible. You know, that chemotherapy, and then it had a witch in it, so it had a hechizo as well in that chemotherapy. And then the other thing that I got to the bottom of was what I mentioned in another video, was asking Papa Julio, that cropped up in that ceremony, about the hex on my family. And to know that I'm relieved of that is huge, because I think that's why fuck all in my life has ever gone right, and the same for my family, and why it's just been, none of us lived up to the potential that we could have been. And everything was nothing really ever went right, you know, as far as what it should have or could have done. But I know you, like I said the other day, you can say that about anything, but compared to other people's lives, the amount of shit that's gone on in my family compared to many others, or most others probably, although yeah, a lot of people do suffer a lot worse, I'm aware of all that. But knowing that there is this curse on my family, and that I'm clear of it, but unfortunately the rest of my family aren't, you know, because obviously you know, I've been doing medicines for 3.5 years, and then Sunday ceremonies to finish off will be ceremony 99. I'm not actually going to hit my 100th here because of missing the one doing the Katawa drops instead of doing a dieta. We just continued. Maestro made that decision with the either information he got from Papa Julio or in the spirit world or whatever in ceremony, because that was what was required. The 6 drops, then 5, then 3, then 3 over 4 days, or 5 days. So I had a day off. He gave me a day off in the middle where I could have have lemon with my food for a bit of taste and a bit of salt. Was it salt? I think it was. Yeah, it was, because I cooked it myself on the fire. They'd sort of done most of it. I reheated it on the fire. I got the fire back going again. There's monkeys clattering around in the trees. The little mannequin, like what they call, capuchin type with a long tail. Saw one of them today, but quite far away. So he's made a good stable bed out here. It's not the other one rocked a tiny bit, but this one's very stable. He says, fucking hopefully it doesn't collapse in the night. So it shouldn't rain anymore, we hope, because it fucking pissed it down all day today. From first thing, it was raining all night as well, which is great at night because obviously it covers up the sound of Maestro snoring. But which he did a few times. I peed again quite a lot in the night, 4 or 5 times. Again, about another litre in the bucket. The mosquito spray, that's the insecticide, is brilliant. You just spray in here and they all fuck off from like, they don't like it at all. It's really good for mosquitoes, but it won't work against those mosquito bastard things. It does kill them if you can spray them directly, but they're so small it kind of seems to blow them out of the way, unless they're blown up against a net or something. They're a fucking pain in the ass, they really are. They don't bite, but they're just a fucking nightmare, flying around your eyebrows or your ears. There's the monkey scratching around, clattering around in the bushes. Probably curious to see the light in the wondering his area where he probably gets his food. He's probably thinking, who the fuck's down there talking? So, yeah, don't know what's going to happen, but I'm kind of thinking about trying to look for work in Colombia, seeing as it's only across the border. It's cheaper to travel. It'll be another 14 hours on the ferry, but Letitia's a good place to have a day. So I like it there, and I like the Colombians. The ones I've seen in Letitia, the ones I saw when I was in Colombia a couple of years ago. So I might look for work there. I'd love to go. I'd love to go and live in Spain. But it's like saying no to Maestro. You know, the worst thing that Britain ever did was come out of the fucking was Brexit again. Another con. We've had 30 years of their fucking laws, and now we pull out, and nobody can move there without a fucking visa. It's a pain in the arse. But you know, a lot of times on this dieta, I've been thinking, I'm caught between two worlds. I love the shamanism thing when I'm not doing it. I love the ayahuasca ceremonies, obviously, but you know, it's such a long path. And I mean, even if I had the money to do another year, I would do it. But I'd need, you know, you do need a break. 3 weeks is enough. Doing sort of, you know, and depending on the effects of the dieta and energies and stuff, it's not that bad in retrospect. When you look back, you go, oh fuck, I was just being a miserable moaning twat, but because that's the way you felt at the time. But it usually only lasts half a day, and it's usually because it's a bad time of day for mosquitoes at the same time, or it's too hot, or it's too cold, plus the flies at the same time. And you know, you're gonna have everybody has moods anyway. They just seem to be a bit more amplified, and you just go, oh god, I just want a fucking normal life. I was fantasizing about, you know, if I had the money, I really wanted to go back to the UK at one point and just visit Terry and see Joe. Sort of for 2 weeks, it'd be great to just have the money like I did a few years ago, and just that freedom, and just be able to turn up at Heathrow Airport, depending on what time, rest in a hotel, or just get a decent, you know, a nice hire car, and have modern life after you've been living like the natives in the jungle. And not even like they do, but then, you know, they're made of tough stuff, tougher skins, and they're just so fucking bomb-proof to the environment. Yeah, they get bitten by mosquitoes, they slap a lot, but it just doesn't faze them to the same degree. You know, Maestro's out working in this jungle for like 2 hours at a time, just cutting bush down with a fucking machete, comes back dripping with sweat, you know, slapping the old mosquito. But he's always cheerful, he's always got a smile or a story or a joke. You can always tell. He's such a wonderful guy, he really is. You know, if I'll put this in the video, he's just not just the best shaman you can possibly have, he's the nicest bloke I've met in all of Peru. In fact, most of the world. He's just wonderful. You know, just explains everything. If you've got questions, he'll answer them and give stories. So, you know, but your Spanish has got to be pretty good. I mean, and mine isn't, so I can't make the most of it. But I do get the gist of a lot of it, and we can have a laugh. You know, I can make a joke or two with my broken Spanish even, and we have a laugh about it. He loves a giggle. Such a happy guy. But he was saying today, oh, you know, you'll work so hard, Maestro. And he said, no. He said, when I think of work that other people do, and I said, oh, I know what you mean, like working in an office all day, staring at a screen, or we were joking about, you know, working in McDonald's, just, you want fries with that, you want fries with that, you want fries with that, over and over. You know, he said, I'd rather be doing this any day of the week, you know, because the jungle's his home. It's just what you've been brought up in. So, and of course, to be such a powerful shaman and earn the kind of money he does relative to the locals, you know, who wouldn't? As well as all the secrets, you know, he was talking about that yesterday. He's talking about, he said there's a lot of secrets in the jungle, not just the more common aspects of shamanism, like ayahuasca ceremonies, and most people don't even understand that. You know, so I am lucky, and I've been privileged. I mean, I know it's cost me a lot of money, and it's been a lot of time spent doing it, but I know a shitload of stuff about shamanism, more than most Westerners. And even the shamans, the Western shamans that have been coming here, they don't know really much, and they've mixed with other cultures, and it's all mixed up. And you know, they got 5 years as a shaman or whatever, and they still don't know that what dietas in this particular culture, get affected by touching people or whatever, or they have no idea really about, the deeper stuff that Maestro's explained to me in the last 2 or 3 months I've known him. I've learned more in 3 months, and way more than I have done any point in the previous 3.5 years. Because the shamans I had were all shit and they don't want to explain anything. And he said, he said they don't want to explain. He said there's a lot more secrets, but they're secrets. We don't want Westerners to know. I said, well, that's why, because he's not averse to that. I said, that's why I think, you'd be the first. It wouldn't have been done before to actually have a shaman school that caters for the Western mind with the explanations. But he still wants to keep it small so that it's just, you can give a good service. So you'd only ever have to start 1 or 2 people, because he still does other work with, he's got 3 months coming up. He doesn't know about Lighthouse yet, but he's got work through till June. It's only February. 2 or 3 weeks here each month in other retreats, 3 other retreats. And then Lighthouse may or may not get back to him, depending on Gino deciding what shaman he's going to go with. So Maestro won't find that out probably till into next week. But by going back to what I was saying about my decisions, I kind of realized today, no, this has been all about healing. It's not been about the shamanic path. It's the shamanic path. Yes, I've gone up serious, a good fucking couple of steps of the level. But when I have those off days, go, this isn't for me. I couldn't stick living here. I couldn't do it being full time. But you do it in stages, and so I just thought, no, I want a life in the West as well, and I'm going to have to create that for myself. Whether it's going back to teaching or going back to the West, but again, there's so many variables. It depends on remaining money, whether XRP's gone up, what jobs might come along, what clients get back to me, because then that by then, and then Maestro's actually ready to take them. But again, because I just don't want to spend dead time in hotels, far arsing about in Iquitos, until these clients arrive, just so I can meet. But it wouldn't be any benefit. My role, I think, I thought that if it did come, it comes through me, because that's the deal, or when we make it solidly, what I'll do for that deal as a percentage, I'll do the video chat with them, and I'll create psychological and medical documents with all the appropriate questions that every retreat should ask you about your medical and psychological history, so that they know what they're dealing with. And obviously then in a shamanic sense, where there's trauma involved, we know that there's going to be demons. If the trauma's deep enough, there's going to be demons, and that's what the shamans, they don't need to know it, but it's good to know it, because they'll find out in the first ceremony anyway. As soon as everyone takes ayahuasca, the shamans are going to know most of it, except for the really strong stuff that can block the shaman seeing it for the first ceremony usually, and occasionally the second ceremony. But even if the shamans see it or not, ayahuasca and the plant spirits start to suck it out. They can see it, and then when it starts to be sucked out, that's when you get the strange behavior, because it's fighting to not get sucked out, and then it's just totally apparent anyway, and then the shamans know what they're dealing with and they suck it out anyway. By calling the plant spirits through the Icaros. And then once they know about it, they'll be able to see it too. It becomes visible once the medicine starts, all the plant meds, all the plant spirits start to suck it out. It becomes visible even if it's blocked initially. So again, don't know for sure, but really got the impression that no, I'm going to go away again. Probably, I want a bit of modernity after they're doing these 3 weeks, because it's been 6 weeks solid with only a 4-day break between. I'm really missing food. I took a photo of my stomach this morning when it's totally empty in the morning, and it's just concave, just no food on board. And I'll weigh myself. I have to remember to weigh myself again, immediately getting back to a ketos. If I'm walking, when I go up for money or to the supermarket, I'm hoping the guy who had the little weighing machine is around and weigh myself the first night to see if I've got even less than 69 kilos that I was last time. But I feel good. I feel really good now. Just knowing that, oh my God, could this really be the end of my skin issues? It's still dry today in places, but there's no rash or red areas or itchiness at the moment. I mean, it's usually at night, if anything, under the blanket. You get a bit of sweat various places, but still that monkey crashing around in the branches. Maestro did say when we were out, there's monkeys up there. Might see them in the morning. So I'm gonna have a pipe. I'll be pissing out the net again tonight. He said, "Oh, you want to take a bucket?" He said, "I think it's better." I said, "No, I won't need to. I haven't drunk too much today. Although again, I had a bit of an acid stomach after smoking my pipe after lunch, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I asked him. There was only 2 coconuts left. I thought, fuck it, I'm having them. So I asked him to open another one. So I had a cup of coconut water, and there's one left for tomorrow. So there'll just be me and Rosie in the camp while Maestros and Darlin are off doing the work in that village for this festival thing, the football game. And then he'll probably have to go. I don't think I've just said that. He'll have to go off in the afternoon. Maybe he'll go off in the afternoon again back to Hanara Herrera, because I don't think the chacruna will be ready to buy until tomorrow, to collect until tomorrow. And it'd be minimum 2 kilos to use with 2 kilos of ayahuasca. And then that'll be the really nice way to end, is to actually spend a whole day on Sunday making ayahuasca from scratch and actually doing it myself with Maestro, bashing up the ayahuasca, because I've never done it. I've seen it various stages, various times, a couple of times here and there, but I've never actually sat right from scratch where I'll see it, how they wrap it up and put it in layers and then put it in the pot and boil the water 20 litres or however much we're going to do to reduce it down, because we only need less than half a litre if it's just for us, because there's probably only going to be 3 of us in ceremony on Sunday. Unless Darlin's here, there'd be 4. So you only need a quarter of a litre for 4 people. But if he knew he had work at Lighthouse, he was going to brew up a litre so that he's got a fresh batch to take with him for that time at the ceremony. So he'd probably do at least a litre, because there might be 5 clients and then there's 3 ceremonies, so that's like 15 shots plus an extra shot. There could be 30 shots. You need a litre at least. So, but we'll be doing a minimum of 2 kilograms of chacruna and 2 kilograms of ayahuasca tomorrow. I'd imagine that's probably boil 10 litres, something like that. Reduce it down, put another 10 litres in, boil that, reduce that down, leave you with half a litre. But we'll see. So I'll have that fully on video record at various stages on Sunday, and then we'll drink it Sunday night. Final ceremony 99, and then we're done. Piss off on Monday. Back to Hanara Herrera at 10. So, haven't got any emails back from BT, but I realised it's probably because I've run out of credit, because you can still get WhatsApp messages. Didn't get any the last 2 days, except Joe just said, "Oh, when are you free on for a Sunday chat?" But I won't be there, won't be ready Sunday. And then it's my brother's birthday on Tuesday, so if he's not too busy, it might be nice just to, if he's available, to have a video chat on Tuesday. Talk about, I did send him a message, but he hasn't. I saw today he hasn't read it. Still, it's only on 1 tick on WhatsApp. He doesn't use his phone much, so I'll be able to tell him about I'll try and remember to ask Papa Julio if he's got, if just whether whoever's responsible, whether this paedophile priest was a member of the family, or he was the one who cursed a member of the family that somebody may have been abusing. But I think it's more likely to be the other way around. I think someone that he's abused may have put a curse on him, and then he's been a family member going back a few generations in Ireland, Southern Ireland, and maybe he was a priest who was corrupt and abusing kids, sexually abusing kids. So I'd like to get some more information on that. I'll try and remember on ayahuasca on Sunday to ask Papa Julio when he arrives and see if he can just answer that as a last question. And then see what Terry has heard about it in the family. God, Terry's 74 on Tuesday. Fucking hell, 74. I was thinking today, Janet's 71 this year. Joe will be 65 and I'll be 61. But I'd love to go back to the UK, see Terry again. Because you never know. I mean, 74 only takes an illness, really, doesn't it? At that age. I mean, Maestro's, Rosie was telling me about Maestro's mother. She's in hospital in Iquitos, and she's not eating or drinking. It sounds like she's really given up, gone down the same path as Mum did. When it's time, they've had enough. Just give up. They know they're not coming back from the state that they're in, their illnesses and whatnot. So it's not looking good for. Well, Maestro hasn't mentioned anything. It hasn't affected his mood, I suppose. Within the family, he was worried a few weeks ago about it, because he was talking to Papa Julio about it in ceremony, and he was quite pensive one of the days, I think in the last retreat, or maybe the first week we were here. But because she's 70 something, she's 78, I think, late 70s. Oh yeah, and working out about Papa Julio. He was born because he died in 2006, and he was 87 in 2006. So he was born around 1910, which would make sense, because that's why he was a soldier in 1941 in the Second World War. He'd have been in his 30s. But he was a special case. He really was. As I said in the other video. He just had an insight. And he found out a lot of stuff on his own, especially, and back in those days, the ayahuasca and the plants were much more difficult. They were much more, much more rigorous and strict than they are now. But he was very special, because he was talking about when Maestro was a kid, doing something, either taking these animal claws out and making them smell it. And part of this was to give them the sense of smell of hunters, so that they could track animals better when they were hunting them. They could smell them so much more powerfully, so, scent like a dog. So it's all fascinating stuff. So anyway, I'm going to have a pint and shut the light off. I've got a spare battery for this big one. 38 minutes, that's not too bad. It's only about 7 o'clock now though. So I got here a bit early. I wanted to see where it was while it was still light, because we're in the darker part of the jungle, over the hill. So saw the sun going down. I thought, okay, let's head off. I want to see it and walk through the path. Oh, I asked Maestro too, because after having my dog as my guardian dog, as our old pet Carla, when I've been walking up the hill, I've been saying, "Oh, Carla, check the pathway for snakes." And so I confirmed it in a roundabout way with Maestro this afternoon. I said, "Maestro, when you go off working in the jungle, do you ask the plant spirits for protection?" He said, "Yeah." Because obviously he has a routine, which is what I've got to do. Every day, 10 minutes in the morning, I've got to meditate and call the trees, because as he said yesterday, I put in the video, if you stop doing it, you'll slowly fade away. The plants will lose interest in you, and they won't bother coming, and they won't protect you anymore. And at my level now, with the amount of ayahuasca I've done, this is why I've run into trouble. Also part of the learning path. I think Mama Ayahuasca and the other plants have been really good to me to give me those experiences. And some of them have been fucking tough because you get hit by hechizos, by witches, and get demons put on board. And then you've got no protection. You can be attacked in normal daytime life from the spirit world. And that's like that fucking orc-looking demon that I saw in the vision that had sliced me through the back when I was at the other retreat where I had to supposedly fix the dietas, which I didn't need to do in the end, as it turned out. So, and that, my back was fucked for 2 days again. Like, can't walk, crawl, fucking barely being able to hobble to the toilet in the room and stuff. And this is the sort of shit that goes on, and that's why you can't forget. It doesn't stop just because you walk away and go back to the normal world. It doesn't stop. This plant spirit world dictates everything in this world. So you've got to keep up these routines. So I confirmed that today with him and said, do you ask the plants for protection? He said, yeah, when he's working in the jungle. So I'd already done it with Carla, walking up the hill, but I thought, at least I know that should work. When I'm walking up, and just walking up a hill, I'll just talk to the trees that have dieted. But first of all, because Carla was talking to me in the other ceremony the other night and said, I'll always be here now, Steve. I'm so glad that we found each other. Because she, I love that dog and she was such a wonderful pet. And to have her, and I can just visualize her, not on an ayahuasca vision sense, but just when I think about her, I'll just sort of see her near me in my mind, just imagination. How are you, girl? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. And so when we're walking, when I go up to get messages or something up the pathway, I can just go, now, Carla, clear the way. Snakes, bad animals, whatever. Just blow. It sounds like you're nuts. It sounds like you're fucking schizophrenic or you've got bipolar disorder or whatever. I've seen Don Lucha, my first experience in Kapatari. He walked past my tambo one day, like talking to himself. And you think, I knew, even then, he's talking to spirits out there. Just happens to be talking out loud. Because this stuff's all real, kids. And Maestro said, the spirit world, you think this world's crazy? The spirit world is even worse. Because it's all about hierarchies and power. Stronger spirits, the dark side, the light side. It's you're either on the medicine side or you're a brujo, male or female witch, casting spells that you read from books on black magic. Or you're a plant spirit shaman who's decided to slowly slide down the path of corruption, by ripping people off and stealing their dietas off them after they paid you for them and this sort of fucking horrible shit. And then, of course, the worst thing, which is one of the secrets, which now I know how important it is the protection. And Maestro said the same thing. I said, so Maestro, when people are in a ceremony and they get their arcana for protection, I said, this is the other problem, isn't it? Because you walk away thinking, oh yeah, I'm protected now, which you are for the first day. But he said, but like anything, like I've told you about your protection, you've got to meditate on it to continue it working. And people aren't told that. They're just told, oh, you'll get an arcana on your last ceremony and then you're protected. But you're not. For that night and the next day to go away you will be, but you've got to be told, you've got to meditate on that arcana. Meditate on Mama Ayahuasca. Be aware of the arcana and ask for its continued presence. For 10 minutes meditation every day. Otherwise, the arcana will fade away and then you're open to attack again. And this is why Maestro's so big on trees, because they're the strongest spirits in all of shamanism. The trees, because they've got fucking bark-like armor, and that's what you're being protected with, the spiritual equivalent of their, their fucking metallic strength bark. I mean, you've heard the machetes go into the tree on some of them. It's like, bang, fucking hell, it's like almost hitting metal on metal. They're that tough. And that's the spiritual protection you need, as Maestro always said. The bad energy from a bruja, they fire spines at you or chisels, just boing, bounces off you. And also, I've already said this about making, because I asked him, I said, Maestro, is it possible to make yourself invisible, or is that part of your protection so that brujas cannot see you in normal day when you're walking around Iquitos? Because this is what Bob and Simon was saying to me. Steve, you're so vulnerable because they can see you. But again, she didn't explain that's why you've got to have protection from the trees, and they don't, because they don't. Oh fuck! They don't explain that. Drop the freaking phone again. They don't explain that side of it and say, talk to Maestro about making sure you die at trees. I mean, Maestro knows this. That's why he's so big on it, and he's happy to tell people. But a lot of shamans won't. They're just happy for you to keep coming back, keep doing ayahuasca, because it's money train. It's a fucking gravy train. And you think you're all getting all this spiritual stuff. You're not realizing that you're leaving yourself wide open if you're not told to continue meditating every day on those are either learn Icaros specific for those trees that you've done, or ask for them even in your own language. Make them up while you're meditating. That's what I do. Although I want to get one. I said to Maestro, before I go, Maestro, can I just write down, a simplest Icaro that contains all the protection, or the incantation's better, with just the tree names of all the trees I've done, because I've done 12 now. I counted them up yesterday. It would have been 15, but because we missed the 3 for what would have been a dieta, we did the Katawa drops instead to solve my skin and blood issue. So, but trying to remember, you just have to rattle off 12 names of trees, but I want to make sure that, how he would do it if he was in my situation, record it and then write it out tomorrow or Sunday and have him explain all the words in whether they're Quechua or whatever, so that you know what they mean, so that you can call this protection every day before you go out walking around town, so that you're invisible spiritually. Just so brewers, they can't even see you, so therefore they'll just ignore you. It's the ayahuasca bright people. A huge moth is flown under the plastic. It's the ayahuasca bright people that that are in trouble, because you're spiritually open and you shine. And this is why, if Josh is available this week, I want to have a chat with Josh, because I realised he's on this merry-go-round, and of course he's got a few ideas about his natural abilities as a shaman, and he's got it completely wrong. He's like sitting in ceremonies trying to suck out dark energy from people. All he's doing is taking it in himself and then relying on the ayahuasca to clean it by vomiting it out. But the problem is, you're spiritually open, and when he's walking around Iquitos, because he's got a house there now, he's not at the retreat all the time, he's got a house for work. People try to break into it and stuff at a couple of occasions, or one occasion, because he's a gringo, of course. He's there with his wife and baby. So he's walking around Iquitos, he'll be spiritually visible. And he'll only get clean when he goes back and does ayahuasca again. So he's on the carousel that I was, where no one's telling you anything. So at least I'm in a position now to say, Josh, if this is your situation, you've got to do at least 2 weeks of dietas with Maestro Antonor properly to diet the trees, so that you've got protection, you can call, and then go out and about. I'm surprised he hasn't suffered attacks more, because I fucking have. I know I did stupid things to attract them, but and my path's different. But now I'm pretty sure that it wasn't to make me just continue with the remaining money and become a shaman at this stage, because I can't. It's just too much. You couldn't. When Maestro said, I'd do another year. But Maestro obviously wants to do it properly too. He wants you to do like him, like a year of fucking 2-week dietas, which would be 52, let's say 25 dietas of 2 weeks solid, of every tree and every plant he could possibly think of. Cramming them in, because obviously now you can do multiple trees in one drink. I mean, this one's got 4 in it. He was going to do 6 at one point. One of mine, Maestro Christian, did one with 6 in it. He told me. I'm sure he's done it. He's done everything probably at some point. His experimentations, like Papa Julio. So it's, it's fascinating. But I need a break. I said I'd probably be bored shitless after 3 days in Iquitos and go, depending what the money is, go, oh, fuck it, if Maestro's available, he's not working for 3 weeks in Lighthouse, but I don't want to overstay my visa. I've got to look at my options. It's not, again, there's 4 main options, not mess up the visa is one, because that would really fuck me up for coming back in the future. But if I leave before the 4th of March, I'll have to ask immigration. I've got to have a day in immigration as well this week. I might have to ask Ida to come along with me again and see exactly how long I'd have to stay out for before I could come back in and get 6 months again. But then that all depends on money, and then that all depends on XRP, and then that depends on work, if that's, so that everything's intertwined and interdependent. So again, it's all out of my hands. It all depends on what happens when I get back to Herrera, Monday lunchtime, I'll say 10, 11 o'clock in the morning when we get back there. Get some credit on my phone and see what's going on with the money, see what emails I've got about the pension scheme, if anything. It's just too many variables to make a decision, but at least I'm thinking about options. And then it just dawned on me today, I thought, why not Colombia? Go back to Leticia by boat. It's cheaper than the flight. And then have a bit of time not too far away. And then depending on what happens, it's not, and if I can come back in, it's only crossing the border. But anyway, there's no point really talking too much about it. But I have been thinking about it. And then, maybe from Leticia, get a bus to the nearest city, depending what work's available for TEFL. But it's a weird time of the year, because obviously it's February, but the kids do go back to school in March. So there might be a teacher's slot. Someone might have left or whatever, you just don't know. Maybe I do a fill-in for a couple of months, which would be ideal, to get my toe back in the water with TEFL in Colombia. And just have an apartment, shit money, but it doesn't matter, just have an apartment somewhere different, keeping up my Spanish. I really was thinking about, I'd love to live in Spain, continue my Spanish that way, get a job, TEFL job in Spain. But again, fucking Brexit fucked us all up, all the Brits. Can't fucking go anywhere in Europe now without a pissing visa. It's a joke. It's an absolute fucking joke, these fucking twat politicians the globalists that want to control everything and make Britain a special case for all this fucking nutcase Starmer that's in control. And these fucking globalist and Marxist ideologies. Fucking psychopaths, all of them. Deluded, fucking demon-ridden fucking nutcases they are. And I know that for a fact. Demon-ridden. Completely spellbound by the cult. Anyway, 50 minutes, that's not too bad. Killed an hour. It's fucking pitch black out there. Oh, I have to watch all my videos again for 2 hours. Getting hungry now too, that's a bummer. So I had a cup of coconut, and then Maestro whistled the Nicaro into my dieta drink. I drank that as well, but I sat around for about an hour and a half. Oh, just thinking about a piss, I want to go now. It's a fucking pain in the ass. It is a nightmare on dietas with no salt, especially with the cleaning that's gone on with me. They're probably repairing my kidneys and all sorts. The urine was a bit stinky this morning again. Not as bad as that first night on those Catara drops. Wow, that cleaned me out. Fucking hell, that stank. Whatever that took out with it, all of the hechizo and the chemo shit in my blood probably that was stuck in there for 30 years. So Catara's been brilliant. He was a tough he was a tough dieta. Didn't have any connection with him, and he was strict and strong. But he did come to me in the end. I did see him. I mean, Maestro called him one night in ayahuasca. So night he said, "Oh, he doesn't know anything." Just but little by little, I had to listen back to it, because when I first heard it in sermon, I thought he was like, "Oh, he's an idiot. He doesn't know anything." I thought it was a real scathing. Forget this guy. He's a twat. But when I listened back to it, I realised he'd said, he doesn't know much. He doesn't know anything or much. But little by little, so that was encouraging. He wasn't just being dismissive. So, but he's quite a tree, that guy, with that blood cleaning resin, toxic resin he's got. God. And then when he put those snakes in me, when it released the witch, that was amazing. And he's a snake eater. Great. Nuts. Oh yeah, and the only other thing that happened last night, it was vivid enough. I don't know the meaning of it, because it was another dog. It was a little blonde spaniel, droopy-eared spaniel, quite long hair. And it was to do with Redruth, like a shop in Redruth. It was like a charity shop, but it was an animal shelter. And I was giving him a cuddle. He was a lovely, clean, lovely, friendly dog. He didn't speak to me. But he was a lovely dog. And it was very vivid. I still got the image of him in my mind, and I was feeling really sorry for him. It's like, I hope this guy's is a dog, fucking retreat dog type thing. Like Battersea Dogs Home. So I don't know. I said, joking with Maestro, I said maybe I'll become the Maestro of dogs. I'll have a fucking army of dog spirits. It'll be my trait. I'll just have fucking hundreds of them guarding me in the spirit world. Because Maestro said dogs are really powerful in the spirit world. They're good guardians. So that was a weird dream. Like this poor dog that was lost. But he said he didn't speak to me, so he was just a nice dog to pet. And I was just hoping that because he didn't have a home. He'd been put in this shelter. It was like a charity shop though, in Redruth, of all places. God. Anyway, so 57 minutes, pipe time. I've got to do some rapé tonight. I haven't been into rapé at all lately, but I've got to start doing it again to meditate on these trees every day, which is fine because that'll be a routine. I'll be happy to do that in a Kutos. It's weird with dietas. I just haven't felt like doing it. It's part of the tests, I think. They just test you to see what you're made of, whether you can force yourself to be strict and meditate. And I'm terrible at it anyway. I just never wanted to do it. I just felt so lethargic. But I think it's the pravers, in which case I failed. But I'll check with Maestro on Sunday night. I'll have to remember that and say, are all my dietas okay? And none of them have failed. If he says, no, they're all good, then I've got to fucking meditate every day to make sure I keep them. Otherwise, I'll end up in the same boat. You get sidetracked by normal life once you leave, and that's when you'll drop your guard and you might not have protection, and then you'll get seen. You just happen to be seen by a witch who happens to be looking around at that time and sees you walking down a high street, and you happen to shine brightly enough and they see you, then let's attack this guy. Maestro, that's what Maestro was saying. He said, people who come from retreats and everything, they're walking around, and the witches are just seeing them, going, they start looking, this guy, he's just got no protection. And he's got no Maestro either. Oh, fuck, let's attack him. I mean, unfortunately now, at least I got Maestro too. At least I will always be able to phone him up and say, Maestro, I'm feeling sick or something's happened, or I feel like I've been attacked or got dark energy attacking me. Because then he'll just fucking... Like he said to me originally he said, you can just meditate. And before he had a phone. I gave him a phone. He said, you can just meditate on me and I'll pick it up. So, one of my friends is connecting with him. It's Steve. He's being attacked. He's in trouble. And then he said he'll send a load of bad energy. Of course, now he's got a phone again. So, and then depending on clients, we'll always be in contact with him because I'll have to forward their details to him to collect clients from Iquitos, etc. Depending whether any get back to me through email or my WhatsApp when I do the video for him starting next week. Maybe have a crack at it on Tuesday. But anyway, that's enough. I'm going to have a piss and a pipe. 1 hour. So that means the time is 20 past 7. Fuck. Got 12 hours to go. 11 hours before it's even light. I won't want to sleep in tomorrow. I just want to fucking walk away. But I can leave the bed here. That's great. All I have to do is when I'm ready, wake up in the morning, have a pipe, pull my clothes on, put my wellies on, walk down to the kitchen. Rosa will be up because the boys will be, the lads will be up. Maestro and his son will be up to get to work. They'll have got up and gone, so she'll probably cook them breakfast before they go. So she'll probably be up and about anyway by the time I'm ready to get down there, in which case she'll have cooked my breakfast. So if I'm hungry in the morning, I'll just be able to walk down, and then they'll come back and collect the bed. I might do that tomorrow myself for something to do, because they'll have been working all day. It's not fair. All I have to do is fucking get dressed up and come and drag carry the mattress, carry the sheets in my rucksack in one go, and then come back and get the mattress and my net, and then set it all back up in my room, take the plastic down. At least I can do tomorrow, because this dieta's not made me feel bad at all. It's not affected my stomach. I feel fine on it. The drinks, it was a bit stronger today. It was really woody, but with much more tangy of this tree, the Canela, moena. It's more like a perfumey smell to it. Strong. It made the drink taste strong today, and it'll be even stronger tomorrow morning too. And then tomorrow night, the last one. And then, I just can't wait to leave. I really can't. So, but once this night's over, broken the back of all the work. It's only being closed on Sunday night, and that'll probably be a nice ceremony because Maestro knows it's my last one. That'll probably be a tranquil one, but you never know. So hopefully Darlin will be in it along with Rosie. Yeah, I actually think Darlin will be there because he'll need to be with us first things Monday morning to load the boat, get everything loaded on the boat with Maestro. So he will be with us. Whether he does the ceremony or not, I don't know, but I should think he would. So there'll probably be 4 of us in Sunday night ceremony, and then see what fucking options awaits me on Monday. Who knows? I don't know. I've just been spending the last weeks I don't know what to do next. I don't know what to do. But then that's always been the case. And even if I've thought and gone and done something, it hasn't lasted too long, like the fucking job in Honduras. So once my skin got so bad, I'm glad I kept a photo of my skin in Honduras. Or was it Thailand? It was bad there. I think it was Thailand I took that photo. God, the fucking state of my legs with the rash on it, and my arm. Oh, what a horrible, horrible fucking hex to have. Chemotherapy plus other witches, and then other hexes and a demon. Oh God, a nightmare. So anyway, 1:04, 1 hour and 4, and I'm done.